Hello, everybody. Back again. We're going to start off where we left off. Okay. Um, there's just something a little bit different because I met somebody online, and it's funny when you meet somebody, it's it changes a lot of things sometimes. But anyway, we got to go ahead with this YouTube, and it's going to be on the same thing. It's going to be writing precision to writing, reading, writing, and math. Okay, and like I said before, everything as far as reading, writing, and math, it's all intertwined into this art of dance without music. Um, I went over a lot of things today, and I want to start off where we left off before. The only thing I want to explain a little bit more is I say reading, writing, and math, and that's what it is. But you got to look at it as this is being developed. So what I do is I explain and I use all the terms that we are familiar with this dance without music. Um, how can I say this? Okay, but I mean, like, as far as the concept of reading, writing, and math is um, is located in the things that I do. But as we continue, because this has to go on as far as reading, writing, and math, so you'll see how it develops into what am I reading, what am I writing, where's the math, okay? Like for one example, I'm going to use um, one example is that when if you listen to the last YouTube, I said what did I say? I said warp, and then I went into the correct or the natural um, the natural quadrant. Okay, then I'm going to move forward. So I'm going to say I'm going to say right. I'm going to say right quadrant, maybe white right quadrant. Then I may say other, and then audience, and then I'm sorry, right quadrant, other quadrant, and distance. So that's like a line, which is showing you that it's going, um, even though I'm toward the right quadrant, it's going to move forward that way, so sideways. So that's how you have to understand the reading, writing, and the math, because it's reading, writing right now and the math is all one thing. And as we go along, you're going to see that, oh, when this is said, um, that means this. Okay, like for instance, if I don't say quadrant and I say um, left, and I say right, right, other, right, other, distance. You know what I mean? That would probably be the same thing because I'm showing you the location. I'm going sideways, but all of that will be in the development of this reading, writing, and math. And actually, there's so many things that we do that has math. We actually do a lot of math without mathematics, okay, without numbers, and that's why we have no numbers or no letters, um, because I'm showing you the different manners in which we will be able to interpret or will be able to write down and communicate this dance to someone else or movements to someone else. So let's just get going. So, like I said, we started here. We finished the last one here as we were in that first part of the dance when we went like this, and we sped. It was the faster part. We ended here, and then I did a. And then the last command was um, um, right quadrant or correct quadrant. Okay. And also for this one, you definitely have to know about the view that I was telling you about the mechanism of the center, correct, and other, and then you have the center. I'm just going to use this center other and center other and center correct or center natural. Okay, or else I could also, I guess that would be, I could actually say natural center. Okay, natural center, and I could also say other center. Okay. Okay. So let's get. So now we're here. I'm here. We're here in the right quadrant, and I could start like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Or else I could bring this along. I could actually say, so I would say right quadrant. Okay? And then I could say, I'm not going to say this. I'm going to keep this just like this. And I'm going to start. And this one would be a shake also. We already went over shake. So this is, like I said, this is time, and this is the force of weight. But there's another thing that I went over, is that the weight is actually pressure. Okay? So it's a weight now, and I'm going to tell you when it becomes pressure. It's a weight now. I'm using my hydrogen X to shift it, and now it becomes a pressure. When it becomes a pressure, most likely, just saying for now, when it becomes a pressure, you're in that quadrant. So I'm in the right quadrant. Now I'm going to use the pressure of the weight, and I'm going to move, and I'm going to use the hydrogen X to shake. Okay, so 1, 2, and we're not going to use the numbers. Like I said, we're weaning off the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4 would be as you see it. Okay? At that point, I'm going to, okay, now we're going to we're going to distance our other, okay? Now, this also shows you that you can distance without going into a, before or without going into a quadrant. So I will say other distance. Okay, I can say other distance. So, and I can also say other distance to, okay, other distance to natural quadrant, okay? And that would bring me here. Then I'm going to take the hydrogen X, and we're going to have to do something with hydrogen X, the term hydrogen X, because it doesn't go along with the way the language goes. Okay, we can't say hydrogen X; it's too technical. Okay, for this we can call it hydrogen X for some things, but for the dance I have to use it for something else. But now I'm going to use hydrogen X. So hydrogen X, I'm going to, with hydrogen X, I'm going to shift to other. Once I shift to other, okay, then I'm going to, on the pressure, I'm going to shake the other force. And there's other things that I have to state that happens, but we have to fill in with some other vocabulary that I can't put in yet, okay? Because I have to get to I want to get to everything that's done on the bottom, okay? So we're gonna do the Now we have to move forward toward the audience. Oh, and I should be at least like this, okay? Because that is the that's the way the audience can enjoy better or see better, okay? Because I'm like moved toward the audience, and that's in the first part that we've already that I try and get a lot of everyone to understand. The first lessons we went over this audience thing, okay? So now I'm in the other quadrant, and there's something that I want to make known for now. When you have the pressure, you make the weight turns into a pressure. When you have the pressure, you're able to function with the hydrogen X. So that would give me the opportunity to we're not doing the numbers. So we try and visualize it instead of counting, and then we'll be able to see the times. That it's more like being able to, more like music, okay? That you go dun 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 dun, okay? And notice how the shake ends right here, okay? We do have vocabulary for this, but we're not going to do it yet. We're staying on the bottom, okay? Now, I'm going to, I'm going to say that this is a counter distance, because I said before, in order to move, you have to shift, you have to change quadrants. Well, I'm going to call this a counter distance, because it's going to prep me to go forward, okay? Although it doesn't make a distance for now, but what I do right now is going to it's going to allow the other it's going to allow the other force here to distance. So what I have to do, and this has to be done, is take the right quadrant and make a counter distance, okay? So I can remember the hydrogen X is here. So now I shifted, and this is different, the hydrogen X to the right, okay, or the correct quadrant that's not in effect. And I'm going to advance it. I will advance it as natural, like natural quadrant, other, I would call it natural quadrant, other, distance, okay? Or natural quadrant, other, distance, audience, okay? So, I'm going to do that right now. I made the distance, okay? And we can also get more technical. It's saying that it's slow, okay? So also, and I told you about fast, slow. So now I'm going to shift, and now that when we pick up on this shift and stuff like that, I don't have to say what happens. When I say shift, you know that it's the hydrogen X. So I'm shifting, I get the pressure to the natural, and it's fixed. So now I'm going to other distance. Oh, and then, okay, yeah. With that one, okay, I can do that, shake again. And now I'm doing the other, and you see how we had a counter distance, and now we have a distance. Okay, so now I'm just going to state that, okay, because you should understand that, and from the last video, it's already expressed about what I do when I make a distance. So now I can say distance, and I could say something shorter, okay? So now I shifted to the other 4. And then I'm going to shift back to the correct quadrant. And then I'm going to distance, okay? And make the distance. I'm going to do that. Okay, so we finished that one. What I see now is that now the language has to be set in place. Okay, it's kind of eerie, or it's kind of mixed in and everything, but you will see that it's going to clear itself up. Okay, because it's a lot of explanation. But now that you understand exactly what happens when there's a distance, I can use different things. I could use simpler terms or make it shorter. But I was doing explanation along with what I wanted to express the command as, okay? So let me just go into that and do that part, and then we'll go into the next one, okay? So I started here. Then and there's the only thing that's different is the fact that when you're here, you have to go here, okay? And then I could have 1, 2, 3, dun 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 dun, and then dun 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 dun. But I still have to do a counter distance using the right side or the correct side. In that part, this would be a mathematics, okay? And like I said, everything's all together, and we do a lot of mathematics that we don't even realize. But, like for instance, when I'm here, I have to explain to you why I go here, and I'm starting, and this is a transition. So it's a warp transition. You have to do it really quick, and I explained that to you. But I have to explain to you the counter distance. Because if I go here, and then I'm here, I'm doing it dun, 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 dun. I'm bringing the other, and then I'm doing the dun, 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 dun. Okay? Now, because I told you have to go from one quadrant to the next, okay? So this quadrant because the pressure is on this quadrant, you cannot move this way. You need to, what I decided to do, I could have just went like this and then like this, okay? I could have, but I still have to put the weight. I still have to put the weight and the pressure on the right quadrant, okay? So I put the weight on the right quadrant, and then I was able to distance, and then and then I did another counter distance, other, and we're just gonna work out the cycle to see this counter distance. The distance, counter distance, distance. Other distance, counter, and then right distance, counter distance, okay? Okay, so that was a big deal. Okay, so now we see a distance that is obtained by, and it's going to go on to the next one, because the distance is like this, okay, and it's going to go into this next part of the dance, because it's like if you have the pressure here, remember that's something new. We just don't have weight, but the weight makes the pressure, okay? The pressure is very important because the hydrogen X works off of the pressure. So in order for me to advance when the other, okay, and I can't say other quadrant because we're not in the other quadrant. When we're in the right quadrant, and the other is in a distance, okay, because the other is in the distance, okay, in a distance, okay, in order to move forward, we can't move the other anymore. This is more like a concept, like I told you, outside, okay? When it's outside, kind of like outside, okay? That means that it cannot go forward anymore, okay? So I explained outside a little bit before. So, but this is kind of like outside, but it's not really outside. So in order to make the distance, okay, we have to put the pressure on the other, okay, and this one is different because you want to keep the same style as far as the dance is concerned. So you're going to make a counter distance with this, because it's not really a distance. I want to make a counter distance with the right quadrant, and then make an actual distance again, okay? So you're going to see this, and this is really getting really complex, but it's very good because it's, how can I say, it's new, and it's going to sort itself out, okay? So in this next part anyway, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let me see, not numbers. So we have dun 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 dun. Okay, and then it goes dun dun. Okay, okay. So that will be another transition, and that transition will be a warp also, because I went from dun 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 to dun dun. So I'm explaining to you as like this, okay? This is what, if we had to walk like this is what I'm trying to explain, okay? And another thing I'm trying to explain is if we had to walk like this, okay? So we have distance, counter distance, distance, counter distance, distance, counter distance. So it keeps it the same style, and then it goes like this, counter distance, distance, counter distance, distance, or yeah, counter distance, distance. Okay. So now we're going to go from dun 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 the shape to, okay, like we did another warp, okay, and we're in already a the other is in a is in a distance. It's like an outside, okay? So I have to make a count in order to keep my distance going. I have to make a counter distance, okay, and then make a distance, okay? So I make a counter distance and then a distance, a counter distance and then a distance. So it goes like this again, dun, dun, and then dun, 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 dun. Okay, so now you got that. So like I said, it seemed really, really complex, which it is getting complex. But what I'm saying is I took linguistics and I studied language and things like this, and it's not that it's all tangled up. What it is it has to be organized to where the only thing that we're going to be left with is the raw language that we're going to accomplish with this dance without music, reading, writing, and math. Okay, and we're going to separate the math and we're going to separate the reading and the writing. Okay, right now it's all tangled together. Everything is usually all tangled together, but we don't even notice it. Like I'm speaking to you, and I'm speaking about things about math, about this, but you're understanding because the language is developed. So now we're in the next part of the dance. Now we understand the counter, okay? So we start right here, and so the next steps is going to be, well, we're going to start right here, and we're going to do, and now as far as the language is concerned, we've already explained how the language would be. So now that part of it has to be developed and separated and organized to where the next YouTube, I'll tell you what I came up with. It all sorts itself out, okay? Okay. So now I can just go on with this reading, writing, and mathematics, okay? So now we're here, dun, 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 okay? And then, dun, dun, okay, we have that, okay? So then after that, there's another now there's a transition, but it's called a seam, because it's the same thing and it's just switching around. So in order to do the seam, I have to do exactly where I'm at but I have to change quadrants, okay? So I go up and just switch to the other side, okay? So before I'm in the natural quadrant. I want to get in to do the same thing to the other quadrant, and I just mirror what I did, okay? And now I'm in the other quadrant, okay? And then well, I'm in the other quadrant, but it's like part of the dance. It's part of the dance. So what I just did would be like this, and then like this, okay? So it would be like this. So then it would be, okay? And it has a little warp there, but it's called a seam. And then, and like you can see, I did the counter distance, okay? And that's all gonna work out, okay? And I could do it again. It's as if I was walking like this, okay? And if I go the other way, this will be the counter distance, and this will be the distance, okay? So now we have that, okay? So now we have that. Then we're going to do a change. This transition is going to be a change, and it's going to go, because I'm seeing if I can remember it and finish this up. Then it's going to go. Let me see. Oh yeah, it goes. Dun. Okay, I have to go back like this, and then it goes forward. So, so in order for me to go back, okay, I have to go back on in this quadrant. So this is going to be it's going to be a change. Dun, dun, okay, dun, okay. So I'm going to go. I'm doing a change. This is not a warp or anything. It's a change because you're not really doing it fast and you're already set up. Okay. So I'm bringing this one up. I'm bringing this one up, and now we don't have to talk about what we're going to say because I already laid down the foundation for how we're going to do the reading, writing, and the mathematics. Okay, I already laid the foundation. It has to work itself out. So we're going to go through this dance as the explanation. Okay, so we did this, and then I need like this, but I have to go back, okay? In order for me to go back, we need pressure, okay? And I can't go back like this. I have to go back like this because we're in the audience. The audience has to see what you're doing to enjoy it. If I go back like this, or I could go back like this, but the best way would be to change, to go from the other and I'm doing little steps, to the right quadrant and then go back, okay? Then the audience can see, okay? And so be like this, I'm going back and then go right into to the other quadrant. So it's set up, okay? So let's just do that. And we get, like I said, a lot of times, I mean, it's part of a dance. You can use this for anything. Okay? So I'm telling you, you can use these things for everything. So now we're going to go this way, and then it goes like this. So what we're going to do, we'll figure out that now. Let's just get through it, because I already have the foundation for how the language is going to be. So I'm just going to do some few explanations to make it a little bit stronger. Go up like this, and then it goes like, and then oh, then, oh. Now this one I could either go like this. I could use the okay, and this is favor. Remember, this is in between, but it's favoring. It's favoring the other quadrant. That was also expressed in a former YouTube. Okay, so it's favoring. So now I'm favoring I'm in the in between quadrant, favoring the other quadrant, because I could go like this. So that means it's favoring, but I got pressure here and I got a little pressure here. So the pressure pretty much makes the quadrant for now. Okay, so here we go. So then I'm going to, and I think this hand, we're going to sit. Okay, so I could either, yeah, I could either use the pressure just from the right quadrant, or I could use the pressure from, no, I can't use that one because it doesn't look good. So it has to be the pressure from, oh, okay. It has to be, it's kind of like, it's the in-between, it's just the in-between favoring the in-between quadrant. Let me see. Yeah, the in-between quadrant favoring the other, and both of them are used. And then I go dun, 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 dun. Let's do it again. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So I went from here to. Oh yeah. Also, they do a I would do a right other, like that. Right other, okay. Right other. I mean, what I'm saying is, no, a right center, okay. So right center or center right, okay. So we're gonna go here, and then like here, center right, and then dun, 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 dun. Okay, so then after that, it goes into, and I already got the basis for the language, so we're going to try and get through this explanations, okay? And this is being precise because it's working every step down. And then we're going to now this one is going into an apparatus, okay? And this apparatus works a certain way. This is really the thing that makes this dance like unique, is that it uses so many things. Like I said, it uses distance, counter distance, and now it's going to use an apparatus. And it's going to go into an apparatus. We're not going to do, then it's going to go up, okay? Something like that, and I'm going to show you why it's an apparatus. It's going to go up like this, and then it's going to go down like this, and we'll make all of these things, and then okay, and that's where we stopped at, and then I can go like that, okay? The reason why it's an apparatus is because it does a system. It has a unique system, and it's organized, and let's start from here, okay? Dun, 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 dun. And then it goes into, this is starting this is definitely an apparatus, okay? And then it goes into this. I'm not going to do too much with this. And then it goes dun, 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 And that's it. Okay? If you want to see it one more time, I'll do it. I'll try it without all the explanation. But that's where it stops at. Okay? So let's see if we could do it real quick. Okay? One. It does go like, it does move a little bit because it goes. And I'm gonna make sure that I did this. What I wanted to make sure I did, let me see if I, because I want to make sure this part. Okay, and that finishes that. Okay, now, because of the experience, like I said, I had, if I did, I would, when we were doing the reading, writing, and the reading, writing, and the reading, writing, and mathematics. When we were doing when we were doing that, the communication, the language, it was getting, seemed like it was getting too complex and everything. But I have experience in knowing that okay, it's time to, we have the foundation already. So around like when we were doing the counter distance, I knew that the language was being the foundation was already made. Okay, and if I didn't have the experience, I would have just been confused. It would have messed up the whole video. Thank God it didn't mess it up. Okay, and so now we can go on forward. So this is going to be um, Dance Without Music, Precision 2, and it's going to have pretty much, I'm almost sure it's going to be the same title, reading, oh, maybe I'm going to say um, uh, reading, writing, and math, foundation complete, okay? Uh, Very important thing, make sure you look at the dates. If you're trying to go on session and you don't understand something, and you know that there's a hole, like I said, you know that there's a hole, you have to look at the dates to see if you're going in session right now. It's very important now because it's getting complex and it's getting more responsibility on the viewer, you the viewer, to keep things organized as far as the class is concerned. Totally free. You're not paying anything. I mean, believe me, this to me is the real money. Okay, it's definitely. But the way things work is when you have something, and this is for now. I don't think that many people can really understand it right now. Hopefully I did my job when I finish this, and then others are going to maybe have to help others this if YouTube stops or whatever or whatever or whatever. But this part is really done very well, and I just hope for the best. But I know not too many people can catch on now. Hopefully there'll be, I don't know, I'm not predicting the future. I don't know how many people can understand. I know they can understand from the beginning, but it's so hard to do the beginning. Nobody really wants to start from the beginning. But because I know sometimes when I learn something, I have to go all the way to the beginning and like refresh sometimes. It's now it's not as bad, but I remember when it was like, oh no, I mean, now I have to go all the way to the back and refresh everything. And if you do it now, later on, when you become this, when you understand up to this point, you can say, boy, I'm glad I did that. Because now I know how to refresh everything really quick. But you have to do it. Another thing you have to do is when you get something new to understand something and everything changes, you have to use it. If you don't use it, it's it's not a good thing. Okay. Okay. Anyway, this turned out to be very good. I met someone in this. I just met someone. I'm not gonna say. I just wanted to tell you why I'm a little bit different. I know you can notice it. I mean, I hope it's good and I hope it's great, but I don't know because I don't know how things work out. But uh, that's why I had to explain because I'm in a little bit different kind of mood. Okay. Okay, so I hope everybody is following along. I know this is great. There's no way in the world that I can talk on these things without nothing inside. I mean, who could make YouTubes without saying anything? I mean, it would be totally impossible. But I know what I'm talking about, and I know that a lot of people are going to benefit from it. And I'm glad I'm the type of person that wants to, want to help society in something because I get help with so many things. In actuality, the YouTubes it's a very big payment. Me just making the YouTubes, I go forward very much. So that's enough jibber jab. Everybody take care and have a nice YouTube.